Hello, my name is Melissa. Welcome back to my channel. Gratitude, very trendy right now in mental health circles as well as church circles. But is it really effective in healing? I think it is. My 15 years as a trauma counselor has shown me the effectiveness of gratitude. But I've also learned over that time that there can be some pretty big obstacles that make gratitude very difficult for some people. So I'm going to tell you about the three obstacles, and then I also want to give you three tips for overcoming those obstacles. So the first obstacle actually has to do with hypervigilance. When you have a lot of trauma, especially growing up or at some point in your life, your brain tends to become focused on danger and finding things, always kind of scanning the environment for what's safe, what's not safe, whether it's a person or a situation or um, whatever it may be, you're assessing, is this safe or not? Things that are positive or things that you might feel grateful for, those things are not even on the radar of danger. And so your brain really tends to dismiss them because they're not dangerous. They don't require attention. So it can be very hard to sometimes even think of things that you're grateful for when your brain is dismissing them because it's not where your brain is focused. The second thing that can be an obstacle to gratitude is actually gratitude may not feel safe for everyone. Sometimes gratitude feels a little bit too close to hope, and if you're a trauma survivor, sometimes hope can be very scary. It can feel like if I start to hope, that's when things fall apart. That's when I crash. That's when things go wrong. And so your own coping mechanisms internally may push away from gratitude because it feels too scary. We're going to talk about what to do with that in just a minute. The third obstacle to practicing gratitude often has to do with dissociation. If you are a survivor of childhood trauma, you may be suffering with dissociation. You may have a trauma coping system, or you may even have dissociative identity disorder. If you have any of those things, sometimes your internal system is still living in trauma. You have parts of your identity, parts of who you are that are living in a memory or an emotion or a belief that is causing a lot of pain. And most any of us, when we're in a moment of pain, it can be very difficult to think about gratitude or to think about something positive in life. And so when dissociation plays a part, sometimes that can be a real obstacle to practicing gratitude. The good news is God designed our brains in an amazing way. We have what's called neuroplasticity, which simply means our brain can grow and learn all throughout our life. And so there are ways to overcome these obstacles. It's really, really important not to rush it. Some of you have already been triggered at this point. Good job sticking in there. Some of you checked out a long time ago. And I would say good job to you for honoring your boundaries and your limits because we need to do that. For those of you that are pushing on a little forward, I want to give you three tips to overcome some of these obstacles. The first one is a little bit of a reframe. Gratitude isn't always a feeling. Sometimes we struggle to practice gratitude because we expect to feel something overwhelmed or joy or thankfulness or I don't know. Sometimes gratitude is simply a fact. I go home to a home tonight. I have a home to go to. Not everyone here in America does. Plenty of people around the world don't. I have a home. I don't feel a wave of emotion when I say that, but I'm grateful for it. It's a fact. I'm grateful for it. I have shoes. That's a fact. I'm grateful for it. Doesn't mean that you have to feel something to practice gratitude. So change the way you think a little bit. It's not necessarily a feeling. Can we start with maybe just a fact? Something that is true, that is good. Second tip is sometimes gratitude is not a thing as much as it is a state of mind or a state of our heart. One of the ways that we experience gratitude is actually in relief. So maybe you had a big project at work or at school. Maybe it's snowing here tonight. Maybe it was snowing or the weather was bad on your drive home and you were very, very nervous. When the project is over, when you make it home, you just experience that relief, that sigh, or you feel your shoulders relax a little bit. When you experience that physically, what happens is your nervous system sends a signal of gratitude to your brain. It's experienced as gratitude, it's experienced as relief. Same thing is true if you've maybe been on a long trip and then you come home and you're back to, maybe if your home is a safe, good place, you get back home and it's familiar. You know what to expect. It's predictable. There's a lot of safety in that. And your nervous system feels that. And again, sends signals to your brain of gratitude. Some people like to feel cozy with their blankets or their pillows or warm. Those things can help them experience gratitude. They may not put that word to it, but that's what their nervous system, that's the signal that their nervous system is sending to their brain. And that's really way more important than the word you use, is what you are thinking about and what you're experiencing. All right, third tip. This one is really important. Don't start too big. It can be really hard. When I work with people and I first get them doing a gratitude journal or start thinking about things that they're grateful for, sometimes they really struggle and they're just like, the sun, I'm grateful that I have air to breathe and water. And that's good. That's good. Start with those things. They aren't too small, because the thing with gratitude, just like we want our physical to experience gratitude and send those signals to our brain, we're also retraining our brain out of that hypervigilance by just looking, just trying to identify things that are kind of neutral. Sometimes we can't identify things that are safe because that's triggering. We can't identify things that are comforting because that can be triggering. But can we identify something that's neutral? Something that's just normally I would ignore, but it's neutral. And so I can say, yeah, you know what? I have shoes. I have water. I don't have a feeling about it, but I have it. We can spend a lot of time trying to manufacture gratitude, when the reality is we just need to start simple. We just need to look for some facts. We just need to acknowledge what our physical sensations are of relief or of safety, of comfort. We need to work on retraining our brain to identify things. If we can't look for things we're grateful for, look for things that are neutral. And as we do that, our brain is going to heal and our brain is going to grow. It takes time, but is gratitude effective? I think it is. So I hope you're able to try one of these tips today and move forward in your healing journey. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you next time.